back to Christy Grace Scarlet Pen. If you haven't been watching my videos for the last 20 days, you would not have seen that I have unwrapped a book every single day and read the first chapter that I already owned in my physical TBR to see where it will sit in my sort of favorites, books that I'm really excited to read. And I have my 5 favorites that I'm going to briefly go over with you now. Depending on what videos, if any, that you have seen, you may know some of these books because they were recent. You may not because they were all the way at the beginning. I don't know. That's okay. We're going to talk about them. Here we go. So the first one is The Orphans Wish by Melanie Dickinson. I knew that I would like this book because it is an Aladdin retelling. It sort of is Aladdin mixed with, I think, medieval / royalty type like scene. They're pulling out Aladdin from the streets of, you know, Arabia, I guess, and pulling him into this sort of world, which I thought was really cool, really interesting. There is an entire series of these, and I have pretty much most of them for Christmas. I'm actually really excited to read this. I think from what I can recall, mostly because of the nostalgia, because I loved the Aladdin cartoon of Disney. It is one of my favorite Disney films, and so I think really a lot of my reason for really desperately wanting to read this book is actually the nostalgic reason. An Aladdin retelling is like, that's interesting, but it's really exciting for me specifically because of that, because it is nostalgic and because I do like Aladdin. And the general story of Aladdin is really cool, you know, like someone who everyone thinks is a nobody is actually someone who is really an amazing person and who can actually make a change and make a difference. That's a great moral story at the center of that anyway. So I'm really excited for that book. I also have The Do-Over by Bethany Turner. Now, if you watched my video when I actually opened The Do-Over by Bethany Turner, which I think was relatively recent, you'll see that it is not so far one of my most favoritist Bethany Turner books, but I did only read the preface for this because the prologue for this. Prologue was basically the length of a chapter, and so it really just did a lot of setup. I didn't get a chance to really sense and see the characters' personalities and what they really like, but the story itself, the plot, the idea of this I don't want to say the word story again because I just said it 7 times, but basically the concept is really awesome and I love it. A workaholic, disgraced, accused of a crime that she probably didn't commit, that she definitely didn't commit supposedly, and a documentary filmmaker who, they were both academic rivals back in high school. She's back in her hometown, disgraced from her New York law job, and he is just super popular and crushing his goals. I just love this idea. I love this, the way that this could go and where it could go. I'm really excited to read this book, and duh, it's Bethany Turner, who is my 2022 brand new author find that is actually one of my favorites now. So, you know what? Makes the top of the list. Makes it. Next book I'm so excited for. This book is Stratagem by Robin Carroll. Honestly, this was one of my best experiences in reading this throughout this series. I freaking love the idea for this book. I am so excited to just absolutely just wreck this book. I want to read this in one day. I'm just so excited. Basically, a psychologist digs into companies' employees to find the exact right mind-bending escape room type group adventure to help them build teamwork, that sort of thing. He builds one and makes one of these games for his ex-wife's company, and she dies in the process of this game, and he is suspect number 1 for her killer, but he isn't actually the killer, so he has to try and discover what the heck happened and how did that even go down. And so I mean, I love the idea of these escape room situations where he's literally like doing psychological research to find out where their pressure points would be, and then also they had this ex-wife's murder thing underneath it. I just love it. I love it so much. And so this is a really anticipated, highly anticipated read for me for next year. The next one is slightly niche, I will admit, but it is The Blaggard Chronicles Book 5, Knight's Scheme, and that is by Phil Lawler, who created The Adventures in Odyssey. I think one of the creators. The Adventures in Odyssey radio show / audio series. I love this book because I have nostalgic ties to this series. I listened to Adventures in Odyssey on CD when I was a kid. I had a whole bunch of them. I still have a whole bunch of them. I know the characters, and Dr. Blaggard is one of my favorite villains that ever just appeared in Adventures in Odyssey. There haven't been a super huge amount of villains. Adventures in Odyssey is really more kids and teenagers sort of discovering, you know, the world and growing up and being led for like really good godly principles and whatever. And so, but this book is like he's like a villain, like a proper villain over here, Dr. Blaggard. This would literally surprise me by picking up exactly after the one really awesome Dr. Blaggard Chronicle sort of episodes of Adventures in Odyssey that I owned on CD, the audio version, and I just was so shocked that it picked up directly after that, and I'm so excited because I get to just keep going with the story, and it's going to be so much fun. And the last book that I'm really excited to read is Cherished by Kim Cash Tate. This book centers around two women, Kelly and Heather. They are both going through some really intense stuff. This is a drama book, which isn't normal for me. I'm not ordinarily drawn to drama books, but the first chapter of this pulled me in. I loved it. I love the writing style. I'm so excited. Both of these sort of stories circle around music. The first person is a songwriter who had given up on her dream, and the second person, Heather, has an affair with a drummer in a Christian band, and that is just no. It's a big no-no. But that's going to leave her, that leaves her devastated. But this book is essentially about recognizing and realizing that you are cherished and loved by God, no matter what you're going through, no matter who has broken your heart, no matter what has happened in your life. So, honestly, I love this. I'm really excited. This book is so interesting, and the writing is just beautiful and gorgeous, and this is already a very special book for me, and I am only one chapter in. So, you know what? You know a book is going to be amazing when you already feel a super special connection to it after only one chapter. Okay, so these are my anticipated reads from my book Advent Christmas countdown videos. I can't believe that we got here. I can't believe I finally finished it. I am so excited. Wait, because it's almost Christmas. I am so excited. I have so much incredible reading to do, plus all the books in my TBR that didn't make it into this random selection that I chose, absolutely at random, for this challenge. But here we are, and I have at least 5, more than that, but at least 5 that I'm really excited to get to in the new year. So until then, I'll see you guys in the adventures, and don't forget to come back tomorrow. Stick around because I am reading through my worst and best reads of 2022, plus my mystery book Unwrapping, which included some Christmas surprises.